Good day to you all, and welcome to Bad Day Excellence, the podcast where we transform tough days into opportunities for growth. I'm Brian Walsh, an optimist with a decade of experience in marketing, leadership, and personal transformation. In that time, I have shed more than 100 pounds. I've run a marathon, built a thriving freelancing business, and worked with some of the most inspiring people I have ever met. I'm here to help you build habits that create clarity, success, and a meaningful life, even when life feels chaotic. Every week, we'll dive into the art of habit formation and how you can apply it to your career, parenting, relationships, and beyond. Today, we'll uncover simple ways to make better choices by pausing, focusing on identity, and creating repeatable systems. We'll break it down for you so by the end, you'll have an actionable takeaway to make a positive shift starting now. Ready to turn a bad day into your next breakthrough? Let's get started. Imagine your brain is like a team with two helpers, Dash and Deep. Dash is super quick. When something happens, Dash jumps in right away. For example, if someone throws a ball, Dash helps you catch it without even thinking. Dash is great when you need to act fast, but sometimes Dash makes mistakes because they don't stop to think things through. Deep takes their time. They like to pause, look at all of the information, and figure out the best answer. If you're solving a tough math problem or deciding what to say to a friend, Deep is the one who helps. But Deep needs a moment to get ready and sometimes is a little lazy. So they won't show up unless you slow down and give them time. The trick is knowing when to use Dash and when to let Deep take over. For example, if you're deciding between a candy bar and an apple, Dash might say, "Candy bar, quick," because it's easy and fun. But if you pause, Deep might say, "Actually, the apple is better for you in the long run." By learning to pause and give Deep a chance, you can make smarter choices. Dash is helpful, but Deep helps you make good decisions, and you'll feel really good about it later. If you're finding value in this podcast, I have a small favor to ask. Share Bad Day Excellence with a friend, family member, or coworker who's ready to make meaningful changes in their lives. Together, we can help more people turn their struggles into strengths and create a ripple effect of positive change. Thanks for being part of this journey. It's also important to know that Dash's quick automatic actions are a result of many of your life's experiences compounded over time. We can't stop our first thought, but with time and consistency, you can reprogram Dash's responses. This is where your identity plays a part in making good choices. Your identity is one of the most powerful tools you have in your toolbox. It shapes the choices you make and fuels the ability to build lasting habits. I have this quote from Sean Patrick Flannery on the ceiling of my basement gym. It helps me push through some of the hardest workouts that I have. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Reading this every time I'm on my back fuels my next choice because I know my future self is the type of person who never stops and also is looking for every single opportunity to conquer the hard things. So ask yourself, in the future, who do you want to be? You can shoot for the moon and say you want to be the CEO of a major company or the most financially secure person you know. Don't worry about how to get there or set a specific timeline. What we want is to visualize that version of yourself and identify what habits that person has. What choices would you make if you were there now? Let your identity guide your habits. Picture this. A sale pops up on your social feed. Dash urges, buy now, but by pausing, you align your decision with who you aspire to be, someone who chooses wisely for long-term gain. We take this as an opportunity to ask ourselves, what would future me do? Don't give in and really take a minute to answer this question, because every time you perform this exercise, you chip away at the bad habits by replacing them with good habits. because bad habits can't just be quit cold turkey. They need to be replaced and reaffirmed over and over and over again. To give you another example how this can be applied is parenting. As a lot of children come off a winter break, there can be some turbulence when getting back to a normal schedule. With such a quick transition from nothing to do to everything all at once can create stress and friction amongst the whole entire family. This week, my family faced a challenging moment. Reflecting on it, I realized I had fallen into habits that future Brian would avoid, like reacting too quickly instead of pausing to listen. Future Brian is the world's best listener and is as cool as a cucumber. Why? Because life is too short. He does not get furious when his youngest is being extremely oppositional. He takes a deep breath and assesses all his options before responding. I can tell you from experience that this isn't easy and there is no quick fix. It's all about consistency and aligning your daily actions with who you want to be, not who you were yesterday. Want quick tips to grow and improve every day? Follow me on Instagram at WalshMeGrow for life lessons, personal growth insights, and snack-sized content to keep you inspired. In the last episode, I talked about feedback that I've received from my manager about increasing my executive presence. Since then, I've implemented several systems to help me focus on active listening during my one-on-ones. These tiny systems are based on a very simple rule. If this happens, then I will do this action. If I hear someone sharing their feelings on a topic, then I will write a small note to pause, acknowledge, and respond. If my one-on-one ends, I will then reflect and write down what they said, how I responded, and what I can do to improve on it. The power of the if-then statement is only as limited as how consistent you are with following through on the action you need to take. For lasting change, I always encourage taking baby steps. Here are 3 other decision frameworks you could use today. The good, bad, better test, where you ask yourself, what's good about this choice? What's bad about this choice? And what's a better option if I can think of one? Or maybe you try the 10-minute rule. If you're not sure what to do, wait 10 minutes before deciding. During that time, take it as an opportunity to really think through all of the options you have available. This one, my optimism loves. Pick the tiny win. Choose the option that feels like a small step forward, even if it's not perfect. I'm all about action and performing tiny little experiments to see what is working. So this one is one that I've tried out and it works really well. I personally gravitate towards the if-then framework, mainly because I was an app developer in my past, but it requires a little bit of deep thought ahead of time. That's not always easy to dedicate that forward-thinking thought. I can't stress this enough. Tiny changes on a consistent basis will always be where the magic happens. We push just beyond our comfort zone with these tiny changes to not fall off our track and begin to align every action with our desired identity. These small shifts will help us find joy in the process of growth instead of focusing on the destination. We now have a much better understanding of our 2 mind systems with our story of Dash, our fast and impulsive helper, and Deep, our slow and methodical problem solver. We've explored techniques like the power of the pause, identity-driven decision-making, and other repeatable systems we can implement to make sure we are making the best choices that align with our purpose and goals. So let's act on these new concepts. Let's take a small bite of this big elephant and identify one decision in your life where you can pause instead of reacting. Track it for 30 days by marking it on a calendar or download a habit tracking app. I'm old school. I have a planner with the whole month laid out with deadlines and prompts to make sure I stay on track. Whatever you use, make it so easy you can't miss it. As always, I will post up on my blog some additional takeaways and resources for you to build good habits. Actually, I'd love to hear from you. Share the one decision you're applying from today's episode on Instagram at WalshMeGrow or email me at baddayexcellence@gmail.com. And just because you're a loyal podcast listener, I want to give you early access to my book, Habit Craft 101, a field guide to the art of building habits. Just go to baddayexcellence.com/ Good Habits and request your early access. By signing up, you will gain early access to Habitcraft 101 in a digital format and receive exclusive updates about the book. Again, go to baddayexcellence.com/goodhabits and sign up. I'm Brian Walsh, your guide to habit crafting and biggest champion. Thanks for tuning in to Bad Day Excellence. See you next time.